KC then, what a trip. Felt like a long one, but in the best way possible, just because so much kind of happened. But I'm home now for all of 5 days before I go away again. But I've got UP in between UP UK, so bit of a mental time. KC. I'll start at the beginning. The junior day, the junior clinic set up by Kelly and Kelly Urbanic. Finally getting used to saying it properly. It's still always good to say Urbanic, but that's not the way they pronounce it. They're starting to set up more and more of this junior stuff, junior clinics, and it was a good day. It was rewarding actually, because quite a few times over the weekend, sort of parents come up to me and said, so-and-so got this out of it or really enjoyed it. So that's what you're looking for really. If you can combine them having a good time with a bit of learning, that's the ideal, isn't it? But I do find it really draining. I will always do a bit of coaching and stuff because it's good to help people, help the game, but I couldn't do it full time. I find it so exhausting. But yeah, good day. And I also had a few days off before the Open and Women's and everything kind of started. The Open, I played pretty well in the group. I think I was happy overall. I won the games I was kind of meant to win, if you like. The games that I should win, I won. And then I lost in the last 64 to Shane McMahon, who's one of the top guys. He did have a couple of chances that I probably should have done better with, but even if I'd have played perfect, I think I probably lost. His break was really good as well. Mixed doubles with Caden was a bit disappointing actually, because the first match we played really well, gelled really well together, and I really, really enjoyed playing with Caden. But the match we lost the next day, I mean, our opposition, to be fair, played perfect, but we had first chances and didn't get them. And if we'd have played how we did the day before, I think we'd have won. But it does feel like there's something there, and I still enjoyed it. So we're going to stay together for Cherokee for November, go again. And I think I plan to kind of head out to Casey a little bit before Cherokee, so we can put some time in, work on the kind of patterns, and because we both see it a little bit differently. Obviously, Caden comes exclusively from a US background, and I probably see it a bit differently still because of my English background. But I do think there's something there. So yeah, Cherokee again with Caden, and then the women's. Finally won one. I say finally, obviously I've not been going that long, and I'm always playing against people that play the game, that it's their game. But I do feel like in the past there's been some near misses, and some times where in the big moments I've not really turned up, against Sophia in Florida. She was very good in the semi-final, but I was rubbish. And there's been a few like that where I've kind of played really well early on and then just folded later on. So it was, I was buzzing to get over the line, as you would have seen from the reaction video that people keep talking to me about. So any of my friends that do think that I just have no soul and completely emotionless, that's not true now. Yeah, it meant a lot, that one, I think, because I do want to play more American pool. And today's an exciting day in that sense, actually, and you'll see why in some more content that is coming, because, yeah, exciting day. I want to play American pool a lot more, so to win one, it's a sign that I've never stopped believing that I can make a success of it, never would have stopped, but just to have that reinforced by winning one is a really positive thing for me. I started today on the Sunday, the finals day, really, really tense. And this is something I wasn't sure I was going to talk about, because it's something I absolutely not pushing as a way to kind of deal with tension, but I was so edgy and I just couldn't chill out. So I did have a drink, which I haven't done for years, and I will not be making a habit of, because I don't really drink anymore. Because I don't need it. I don't enjoy drinking anymore, which from those of you that knew me 10 years ago will probably find difficult to believe, but I hardly touch it. But I couldn't settle down, so I did have a drink to take the edge off, and it worked. but I won't be doing that again, because I don't want to come to think, you know, there was a time when I was younger where I felt like I needed a drink to settle down, and I don't need that anymore. I know I don't, but on that day, that was just the solution I chose to deal with feeling so tense. It worked, so happy days, but absolutely won't be. Now I want to win one without that, to know that I can. But yeah, I did play well I think I played pretty well in the semi, and then in the final, I played good at the beginning, but I was watching the clock too early again, which is frustrating. I did it against Colette in Bolton. Was it Bolton? Yeah, in Bolton, and got away with it 165. This one I won 5-4. So in a way, you can say managed it kind of perfectly, because they ran out of time to come back. But just, I had chances, win the frames, take the clock out of it. So I need to not get into that habit as well. Yeah, and I did celebrate that night. Like I said, I don't really drink anymore, but I do now average about once every 2 years where I think, yeah, I'm going to have a blowout, go into fuck it mode, which is kind of what happened. So it was a good night from what I remember, and obviously absolutely buzzing to win one, and hopefully kick on now and take the confidence of winning one into next events. Now, I realised I kind of went quiet after that on socials, and then I did say I was going to talk about why. The Monday I was very hungover, and I laid down in a dark room and didn't really move for most of the day. And then that kind of led into the rest of the week really so I stayed for the Midwest, which was, I'll talk about in a minute. But actually, after I was over the hangover, it was really nice to do nothing for a few days. I was very well looked after by Kelly and Braden, who are one of my main sponsors, and are absolutely incredible to me. So staying with them, and it was just, I watched more TV in that 3-4 days than I have in months, because this year has been great and a little bit tough all at the same time, because obviously being able to give up work to play full time is an absolute dream come true. And then obviously 4 days after I stopped work, I fell over and broke that bone in my wrist, which does feel a little bit stiff today actually. But so it's been a weird kind of year, and it has been quite intense in a way. Obviously trying to get socials off the ground, putting a lot of work into that, a lot of planning, a lot of stuff happening in the background, which you'll see soon enough. And it's just been mentally a lot to deal with, and quite exhausting in a way. Not in any negative way, but it was nice just to do nothing and not think about it and reset and just, yeah, chill out. And I think that's kind of re-energised me. So it's a positive. Nothing dramatic happening at all. It was just nice it was lovely to do nothing and be looked after for a few days. So I went into the Midwest, which was the second event I stayed for, feeling physically, mentally just refreshed and ready. And good job really, because it's a mental tournament, and it did feel a bit like stepping back in time, which normally I'm not the biggest fan of. Although I sort of have come to appreciate it a bit more, I guess. But in this sense, it felt like walking into kind of like American pool nostalgia. Is that the right word? It was mad. Shooters, great venue, and I'm led to believe it's not really changed much in kind of 20-30 years. But you see the pictures on the wall, the memorabilia, the space, everyone's just loving it. It was definitely an experience. Not one I would want to do every week because it's a bit mad, but it was enjoyable, and it was bar box 9-ball, which I've not played before. I've only ever played 9-ball on a big table, so another different sort of slightly different game. and I got to the final, which, I mean, I'm never happy with losing, but, you know, having some sort of sense of perspective, pretty happy with. It was a decent. I didn't know many of the players, but it seemed like a pretty strong field. Some good players there, and I felt like I settled into it quite well. I only had one practice leading up to it because I spent the days just kind of resting. Joe did try to teach me how to like loop bridge for the break, but it needs work, should we say. So for the break, I just reverted to what I know, which is put it in the middle of the table and hit it as hard as you can, which works pretty effectively for the most part, actually. I played in the Open and the Women's. It's the final of the Women's, like I said. In the Open, I lost in the 3 a.m. round. So when I say it was a bit like walking back in time, it was 75 cents a rack, handwritten draw sheets on the wall, scheduling a bit mad. Yeah, I had a 3 a.m. game in the loser side of the Open, which was my fault because I absolutely had chances to win my winner's side match at like 8:45 p.m, which then would have meant I didn't play again till 11 a.m. the Sunday. So I could have done myself a massive favour and didn't, and ended up playing the 3 a.m. game. But at least I got the full Midwest experience. And the 3 a.m. game, I didn't really make many mistakes, miraculously, but I had 3 dry breaks. It's the worst. I kind of worst my breaks went all weekend, and he cleared them all, I think. So yeah, came back for the women's the next day, and was happy with how I played. Started seeing it a bit better. The safety is the 9-ball, 10-ball safety is something I really want to put some work into because it's obviously very, very different to 8-ball. So yeah, Casey, epic as always. I should probably say Kansas, actually. Kansas Shooters is Kansas, not Kansas City. Anyway, epic as always. Love the US. Back out there in a couple of weeks. Should probably book some flights, actually. That is what I am going to do now.